Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 6, 2024 Architectural Review Board meeting for the town of Eastchester. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. If you would, roll call for us.
Sure.
Thank you.
Enda McIntyre.
Here.
Jennifer Nemisak.
Here.
Sylvia Luca.
Here.
And Laura Raffiani.
Here. Thank you. Okay. And Noel Wolfson.
And Noelle Wolfson. Good evening.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from March 7, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. And then also, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the April 4th ARB meeting, which was Jennifer, Enda, and Silvio.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'd like to make another motion to approve the minutes of June 6th ARB meeting.
Or no, that would be the May 3rd meeting, sorry, and that's a typo.
Oh, sorry, yes, that's a little too quick.
Right? It'd be very impressive if we had minutes already.
Typo, sorry about that typo. The May, would you,
I believe it was the 3rd.
okay. And here they are. May 2nd.
May 2nd, okay.
At which I and Jennifer and Enda were attending.
Okay, so second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. All right, so on to new business tonight. Our first application, if you would please come up to the podium with your materials. Application 23-39 for 122 Montgomery Avenue. Welcome, and I don't believe there is one. Is there a computer hookup?
Usually there is. Is there not a
there?
wire there?
Oh, sorry. There you go. And if you are standing by the podium, you can use the mic there. Otherwise, you can take it out of the stand and move around with it.
We'll let him hook up. Meantime, I'm Leonard Brandis. Good morning, members of the board, Architecture Review.
Okay.
I'm here representing the Lead Corporation for a new proposed building. We've gone before the planning board, which they have approved at this point, and they sent us to you for further approvals. The building is going to be a 1.5-story commercial building. It's basically used to store equipment and trucks, things like that. And it's going to be replacing an old house. I guess it's actually gone now. We had a demolition permit, so that's actually off the property. It was in very bad shape, and the lot was being used by other people, so we did close it in at this point. I don't know if you've been to the site recently. The new building is a prefab structure that comes from a metal company. Samples don't work. I just left the samples over there. Oh, here they go. I have samples. I can pass them along. Does that be
Yes,
best?
please. Pass them up to the board.
The rooftop is this and the trim, and the main building is that.
Thank you.
So it's aluminum. Yes?
It's not coming up on there? Do we need to put the video in?
No, I did put it. Just doesn't show.
Gary, do they have to do something for the video to show?
The HDMI.
Yeah, it's in.
Do you need to put it in here anymore?
Yeah, it's in already.
Doesn't seem to work. Now you have the drawings there in front of you, I guess, is you can work it. Basically, I just wanted to mention, the type of materials that we're using. We're going to have stucco finish on the base of the building. They're all front, so we're gonna have-
Oh, there we go. Ta-da.
Okay, I also want to show you the photos that we have of the site and also of other buildings around there. This is an industrial area, so we did get variances for the rear setback, so it matches in similar to the other buildings in the area. We do have the building setback further than the required amount because we wanted to be able to have some car parking in front of that as well. So the buildings, like I said, are mostly industrial all around on that side of the block over there. Okay. That's the building next to us right now at 111 Brook. 111 Brook does have some parking that goes into our site as well, as you can see on the site plan on the side of the building. It actually goes into our area there, and that's under agreements that they had. And you can see the space up on that. And that's in that area over there. That is the old house that was there. There was an old garage that was basically on the property line that has been taken down. So all this has been taken down already. And that's the other side of the building over there. That's the other building that exists on that side. Let's go back to the section for a second. In terms of the building section, you can see that there's a balcony, a mezzanine area over there on the interior space. So that this does have, like, just to have additional, like, an office area up there. There is a bathroom that's going to be in the building itself, but as I said, this is basically an industrial building to house equipment. And such, so I'm up for questions.
So I'm looking, actually, well, it's at the landscape plan, but I'm seeing the cars inside and outside, and it has 2 cars inside. Is that the limit to the inside parking, or is that?
No, that is, we're going to be having
just a
trucks in there.
suggestion?
We will be having trucks inside there and other
Okay.
equipment, so we're just showing that we can have additional cars and vehicles. We didn't want to take up the whole front with parking, so we are required to have 4 parking spaces. So as for the planning board, they wanted us to show the 4 parking spaces. So we showed 2 inside and 2 outside as
Okay.
required. Most likely, there's not going to be any cars there, except, during the daytime when people come to use it, but most of the time at night, there won't be any parking over there as well.
And all the trucks will be inside?
The trucks will all be inside, yes.
What,
We're not storing equipment outside.
okay. So then what kind of trucks are they? When you say
It might be
trucks?
backhoes, loaders, things like that. So it's equipment that
Construction
they use for
equipment.
construction, yes.
And the doors are nice and high so that they can accommodate that. Is this the same as a building that was constructed in
There is another
Tuckahoe?
building that we have over on Tuckahoe Road. And I thought we had we don't have a photo here? There is one on Marbledale Road that's very similar. It's the same colors and materials, and
Okay.
it works well over there, right on Marbledale by Jackson Avenue, right at the corner there.
Okay,
So it is the same materials, same type of building. Once again, it's a metal rooftop, which is the dark metal with a standing seam roof, and just metal panels on the sides.
okay. I know from was it the planning board, there was something about the fence.
Right, we originally had fencing across the front of the property, like the other properties in the area, but we decided to set that back, and now we have the fence. If you take a look at the drawing up here, you can see the fence going across at the building itself. We originally had fencing to close off the whole property, including the parking area, but we decided to take that back. That was their comment. They were questioning whether we wanted that. There is existing chain link fence. We go back to the site plan for a minute. And you can see the existing chain link fence wrapping around. So we're just going to be matching the existing chain link with a black chain link fence coming across the sides of the building. The front of the building, as you can see, we put plantings across the whole front of the building itself on each side of it, so that we do have some blockage from that, and makes for a much nicer view, as you can see in our planting plan.
I think your engineering plans might show the fencing in the original location, so for the next review by the planning board, you might just want to check that.
Yes, we will. Thank you. There was a question of setback, as you recall. There was a setback question, and we didn't want to go 10 feet because that would just block everything.
Sure,
So
sure.
we said, let's bring it to the building and keep everything clean.
Yep, and on your set, it looked like the fence was changed, and on the engineering set, it looked like it wasn't. So if they could just be consistent.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
Is that lighting on the face of the building?
Yes, in the front of the building, we do have lights to light up the parking area.
Okay.
And it's like a down
Yes, it's just
facing-
lighting down, yes.
And directly across is commercial?
There is,
Anyway, or-
I believe there's some residential as well as commercial across the street. I mean, it's all within that space.
Thought I saw it somewhere. Lost it.
He's got it up on the screen.
Okay.
Which is another reason why we set the building back instead of right at the front of the property. We have a overall, do we have a?
So then, I'd like to make a motion to open up application 23-39, 122 Montgomery Avenue for a public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here that has any questions or comments in the audience regarding this application? No? Okay. Anyone on the board see any reason to keep it open, or?
No.
No.
Okay. Alrighty, then I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on application 23-39, 122 Montgomery Ave.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty. And then I would like to make a motion to refer application 23-39 on to the planning board with a recommendation to approve as submitted with the fence back. So just adjust those,
Yes.
the inconsistencies in the plans, whichever one needs to be adjusted to reflect that change.
Okay,
Alrighty.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Somebody second that?
Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And next up, application 24-17 Hickory Hill Road, 64 Hickory Hill Road, sorry. Here's all the pictures that I was looking for before. Good evening.
Wow. Okay, I'm stuck. Good
Oops.
evening. Yeah, I can't get this free. We'll try.
There we go.
All right, good evening, board members. My name is Joe Fernandez. I'm the architect for the project at 64 Hickory Hill.
Okay,
We have an existing home that my client had purchased somewhat in disrepair. We're in front of zoning board for a family room in the backyard. We were looking for a small variance. And also in front of planning, and they referred us to you. And essentially, the plan is to modernize some of the finishes, get rid of the siding. We're proposing some stucco, which I have some samples here, to give us more of a contemporary look. Okay. Thank you. We've if you looked at the first picture, we had some eyebrow windows here. We've actually raised this ever so slightly, and we've changed the roof line to become a standing seam metal roof. The garage door also has been widened a little, and we've changed the front entrance window bay to some sliding doors, so they will actually be able to open for more air and light into the space. The front area also will have a small patio in front, and that's all kind of, as of right, within setbacks, but a way for them to have an area in the front of the home as well. And the side has also been changed, the sides from the horizontal siding to a more contemporary and efficient hardy plank.
Did you have photos of the existing home included in the packet?
Yeah,
I'm not.
it should be.
Okay,
I
okay.
can flip back to it.
I got that. I got it. Thank you.
And there's a lot of work going on in this particular neighborhood, a lot of upgrades. Some of the homes have been already completed, and some are in the process. And we've started some interior renovation, but we're really trying to catch up with the exterior.
So you're 64, but 65 is also going through some stuff right now, right?
Yeah, large, they're across the street.
So the finishes on this looks significantly different. It's like a whole new look, right?
Freshen up, yep.
So I see stucco on the front facade, but the sides are vertical?
Vertical planking, yep.
And what kind of planking is
So
that?
that's hardy plank. I have a sample. The color, unfortunately, they didn't provide us with, but this is the type cement board that it is. So it's really,
Color-wise,
it's a darker gray. They just didn't have it.
okay.
And this particular material, like the roof and the stucco, will be maintenance-free.
So the roof color, new metal roof color is what color?
The metal roof color, we have a sample.
So the house will be pretty dark all around then.
Well,
Between
we have the contrast
gray
on the
and
front elevation with that offset, the white offset, and the door will also be an accent. You're going to have glazing, a lot of glazing here as well in the front elevation with the sliding doors and the new windows in the master on the second level.
What color the window frames?
Window frames are black as well.
And the vertical siding is what color?
It's like a darker gray.
Darker than this.
Is there a horizontal detail that you need to do with that vertical siding? Because the boards only come a certain amount of feet?
Is there, say that again?
A horizontal detail that you have to provide? Because the boards are probably 12 foot long? and you-
Boards, right, and we're taller than 12 feet here in this area. Actually, we can seam it to the windows and get whole pieces.
But then there'll be a band like where the windows are, right? Like
No,
there'll be-
no, because, I mean, this would be.
There'll be a seam.
This is the longest one, and there wouldn't be a seam. So we could cover that in the 12 feet. This could be a 12-foot piece, this could be, so the windows act as a break.
And like to the left of the window and to the right of,
It's less than the 12 feet.
that looks like longer than. Right. So where would I find the measurement to the ridge, like on that north elevation? What's?
You want to know this point?
Yeah, just to kind of figure out like what, like where I see is the longest pieces or not really up to that that second-story window, more towards the left of the other and towards the right of the other windows is the longer pieces. Do you think that's
Well, it's,
12 feet? I think that's more than 12 feet,
No, I don't, no.
don't you? I mean,
so what, on elevation 3, is that what we're talking about?
I'm looking at A4 right now, but,
That's
Right,
the.
A4.
A4, this is number 3.
So
oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
So
no,
the-
I was looking on
the
4.
top of the, I guess, top step is plus 3.6, right? Above grade,
Which,
3'6", elevation 3, south elevation,
okay,
right? So first floor, it looks like it's around plus 3.6,
correct,
and to the top of the ridge is plus 29.
okay,
That's like around
26.
26 feet. So you're going to have, I think what my colleagues is saying here, that the boards just come 12 feet, right? Like so,
Right, and these are, I believe these are 4.5-foot windows, so I think we can go from the bottom of the stone up to the window and then above the window.
right,
But
but
there's-
I think there's a lot of runs that exceed 12 feet. I think that's what
I'm just concerned about,
said here.
Yeah.
the only reason why I brought that up is typically, like, I haven't used this material, but like a hardy plank board and batten, there's a horizontal joint, because you can't just stack boards, because the water's gonna get in. So usually you have to put a piece of flashing and then a horizontal band, you know, if it's more than, let's say, the length of the material.
Yeah, the boards also have, and I don't know if that sample
No,
had something on the end. It's not, it
This is
doesn't
not
show.
really a,
Okay. Yeah, this is a
But there's
sample we got.
definitely, like, okay, if you look specifically at elevation number 3, the south elevation,
this is 20,
And
this is
if you
20 feet
look-
at least. from
you
you.
go from 3, right, to the bottom, and then you go up to where the building height is at 23. There are planks that run from there to there, or even a little more, between the two windows, right? So
Yes.
that's a 20-foot run there.
You're saying from here? Oh, here?
Both sides of that, yeah.
Okay.
So there's definitely
No, let's go, right.
runs that are more than 12 feet, and I think you're going to have a problem with where those seams are going to fall. Are you going to stagger them, or, I don't know, I just don't
Yeah,
see.
and again, that's, the homeowner is also the builder, so I'm sure it's not going to be something that is not considered or looked at.
But you have to know how it's going to be. Because it could be a disaster, is what I'm saying. It's something that could, unless it's detailed and as to how they're doing it, it has,
Well, we can certainly provide something. I mean, we can
It's the
investigate that some more.
manufacturer's detail that's.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just something we're going to get off from their website.
I think you just make a recommendation that, you know, you try and have, you know, a minimum of sort of 12-foot runs and try and break that up. I think it's, to your point, it's got to be built the right way. And, you know, if you put in some sort of a separation piece, whether it's a lateral board with some sort of flashing detail on it, I think ultimately it's, you got to do the right job, whether we're doing it or you're doing it.
Sure.
And I think you just need to follow the manufacturer's recommendations as to how to do the right job.
I agree.
But I think the point that we were trying to make here is there are a significant amount of boards in excess of your 12-foot on both elevations 3 and 4.
Okay.
Do you have cut sheets for the lights that you're going to be using?
The ones here in the front?
Yeah, they're the same, I'm assuming across the front and also at the sides of the garage?
So I do not know that I have a cut sheet, I'll be honest with you. I know that there were several lights that were reviewed and considered. No, I do not.
Because it just doesn't show anything. It just looks like squares, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be something just to give some subtle lighting to the front of that, to that window area and/or to either side of the garage door.
Understood, but here's the place where you need to come with that kind of a detail. That's the aesthetic things, that's what we're here for.
Understood.
So should be included in the,
And the railing is a tension wire railing?
Yes, cable,
Okay, and that's, I'm assuming a chrome or a silver color?
silver color. Mhm.
So all the new openings, doors, windows, garage doors, everything's new?
Yes, all the windows and doors are new, correct. And the garage door's been widened a little because it's a small, undersized door.
Is there any reference on your drawings to the look or appearance or color of the windows?
Of the windows themselves? They're going to be Anderson 400s, so.
White, black?
No, it's a black frame.
And those are stationary, not sliders, right?
So, these are casement. That's just a regular door, garage door, and this is actually a set of doors that pocket into the wall. So that's also made by Anderson.
They pocket in one side, or they?
One side.
Yeah, how do you do that? It folds?
No, it's on a track system. So they're just slightly one in front of the other.
Right.
So, and then you just basically can push them, and when you have small kids and you don't have like a bifolding thing that's just hanging on one wall so they can catch their fingers in the jams, this way it's, all you see is the edge of the doors. It's pretty neat.
You just frame the exterior wall, 2 by 8 or something like that?
Well, what happens is, so the exterior wall is there and then you have a pocket. So normally, traditionally, where we'd have a closet maybe that's larger in the foyer area, that gets cut down a little bit to allow for these 5 doors, which is, 11 or 12 inches.
So it's going to open up as you're facing that to the right and go next to the front door?
Towards the entrance door, correct. You wouldn't know once it's open that it's there because the wall is solid, and as the wall on the other side is the outside wall.
and does it have screening or anything like that?
So there is an integral screen that's built in, yep. So you can just kind of pull it across.
Like a roll inside?
Yeah, it's
And it
it's
comes-
built into the frame.
Does the client really want that exposure into their living room?
Fishbowl.
Well, listen, they wanted more light and they wanted to be able to see out. But we also have a small family room in the back of the home also that they could utilize for family entertainment.
The base of the front patio is new stone, right? Correct?
Yeah, it's stone, so it's going to be
Same family, a gray family?
like a, I don't want to say Yonkers granite, but like a gray kind of lick and stick kind of stone that looks like fieldstone.
You don't have any sample of that either, right?
So,
That's not just a veneer, it's a real stone.
say again?
It's a veneer or a real stone?
It's real stone, but it's a veneer.
It's a veneer.
So
It's a
so you
thin
don't
cut.
have to have the step in your foundation.
Right,
So,
but you don't have anything. It'll be a gray to...
yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
And patio's what, bluestone?
Patio will be bluestone, yep. Mhm. And the entrance steps as well, going up. because they were, if you look at the other depictions of the home, the pictures, you'll see that they're kind of in disrepair as well.
Your front door is an offset pivot door, like a 4-foot wide offset pivot door?
I'm sorry,
The front door, the offset pivot door,
that pivot door, yes.
4-foot wide?
Did they consider putting that window structure that's on the front instead on the back,
So on the back, you can
where
see.
the family room is?
Yeah, on the back, you can see we have just regular
Right.
casement windows. The backyard's very small, and essentially it's just to let some of that green in. But they didn't, necessarily want that wide open in the back.
But you want it wide open in the front.
They did.
It's a little restaurant-y.
Well,
You know,
then,
they
make a
just-
reservation.
It's like, it just seems a little, I mean, it's a great idea, but I'm not sure for the front of a house.
Functionally, I don't know if it's-
It's strange to me, anyway, I mean, I don't know.
And also it opens into the living room, am I right?
That opens into the living room, yes.
Yeah, and the other area is, the back faces the family room, it's the
Yes.
family room.
Even if it was sliding doors that opened and that you still had a remnant of each on each side, that would be more residential than to have the whole thing open up like a giant, like you can use it indoor, outdoor, which is a great idea for the back of the house. It's just a little strange to have it in the front.
Yeah, it does seem odd to have that in the front.
And that's why you would want it all to fold into to the pocket, so you have that indoor, outdoor. And that's usually a private feeling that goes in the back of the house. In the front of the house, you want something to frame your living space. So I just find it an unusual choice for the front of the house.
They seem to like it a lot.
Is it a busy street?
No. It's the end of the block, it's a cul-de-sac, and there's there's a huge project across the street that they're building out, and there's some rather larger homes there. This is like one of the smallest homes around, so I think this is their compensation for being so small.
All in? Just seems odd to put that in the front. And the other thing that's a little commercial looking as well is the color choices. I think it's really quite dark and somber.
I mean, this is, and there's something similar further up on Hickory, but this is light, and this is the dark section. So there is a big contrast, and I think with the door, which, I envision that it's going to be like a wood door, pivoting door. I think it's going to stand out, and it's going to look rather nice.
So another thing you don't have a cut sheet for, the door, the garage door, the front door.
Close the garage door?
The garage door is just a coplate metal door. I mean, it's...
No, the color. Is it dark gray
again?
also? Is it the same color as the stucco?
So Coplay makes, it'll be similar to the stucco. So this is something similar to what it could be, the front door.
Tigerwood?
Tigerwood.
But that's not the front door, that's just another product.
That is, no, well, that's the
Garage
wood
door.
sample. That's a wood sample for it, for the front. That particular piece is, used in a deck assembly. However, the wood is the wood.
And is this going to be horizontal?
No, so that's the entrance door. So that's the.
I
it's
was
a-
just saying
it's
that
a
the front door,
entrance- It's
the
a
front door is gonna be wood.
Yeah.
It'll be wood.
You know, this-
So this is
Oh,
it.
it's not, I'm looking at the applications back here, but, okay.
And then the garage door color would be that as well? No.
No, the garage door is going to be a darker door. Coplay, darker. Coplay makes it darker, like a, I guess it's close to black.
Similar to the stucco that's above it.
Similar, yeah, but it's metal, so,
More like the roof.
yes.
You have an AC system in this house, because this is going to attract a lot of heat.
So, yes, there will be a nice new AC system. The current one is not functional.
And where will the units and whatever have to be put?
So there's, in the back of the home, there's a proposed deck, and that's where the one compressor exists today. So it would live in the same spot.
Is that indicated on the plans on one of the?
It is?
Which one should I look for that?
Give me a second.
The site plan? Or-
T3?
I'm sorry?
T3?
Possible. T3. So it currently exists there underneath that rear deck, and that's where the new one will go as well.
You have enough space to fit it there? It looks like it's
Yes.
less than 2 feet.
No, there's enough space. The existing one is there now, and the ground actually has like a swale there, so. It's a fairly good-sized unit.
Okay. So,
Open up the public hearing. You would do that?
yeah. I'd like to make a motion to open up the public hearing for application 24-1764 Hickory Hill Road.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here with questions or comments regarding this application? No? Okay, I'm not sure if we want to necessarily close the public hearing. There's kind of still, I don't know, questions here on things and things that weren't presented. What do you guys?
Well, I think what's throwing the board off is that we don't come across too many modern homes. And obviously the details dictate a modern home. So if we're only talking about that, I think it's fine to go ahead, move on.
Absolutely, I don't have a problem with modern at all. And I don't have a problem with, kind of a mix of things within the town of Eastchester. But I do have problems with when people present applications that are incomplete. There's things on the checklist that just are not here. And I don't know, that makes,
You know what
Of
would
a
really help? A
difference.
color rendering would have helped, so we can get a look at how it's all going to look together, instead of putting it together in our minds that this is going to be a darker gray, and that's going to be a wood door, and that's going to be, putting it together for us helps.
like that one there, you have there, just as an example. I mean, that's a
Somebody
different
else's house.
application. Yeah,
Right.
but at least it gives us an idea. And I know this is a quote-unquote renovation. It's not necessarily a ground-up new build, but it pretty much is in terms of architecturally. The whole facade is just a whole new thing. It's a whole new world.
I believe, though, if the renderings, as nice as they are to depict whatever the designer is trying to show, is never an accurate
Well,
depiction
it's-
because you're
it's-
not seeing real life what the materials are.
Oh, yeah, that's always the Disneyland version, we know that, but at
And-
least it puts
right.
it together for us, the
And it
colors
has
that you're going to put together.
The 3D effect
Yeah,
of it.
so we know what it
which
looks
is
like.
much better. You start to see the massing a little bit better, the ins, the outs of the building.
And in fairness to our application, I'll just say that we applied, we went through the building department, we had to do zoning and planning, and we based on the schedule that there is, and your board doesn't meet again now until September, we had to put as much, and that's why we went for, try to get real samples and as much information, because we really didn't want to be held up until October at some point
Right.
to be able to start again. It would just really put a hole in this project, like,
So,
But
listen,
I think you knew that going in, right? You know our schedule, right? You're an architect, you know the
No, what I'm
summer
saying is
schedule.
that once we applied and then we got into the brass tacks of everything and looked at all the schedules and all the different boards we had to attend, we, so to speak, panicked to try to get as much information together for you guys to be able to review. So again, it's,
Your homework is not finished. I mean, there's things on that list
I would
that just
disagree,
didn't-
but you know what, again, it's, I think that the intent is there. And, I mean, what do you see as something that's still missing?
Still
that you would-
missing?
Yes.
Okay. On your application, excuse me. Where's that application? Now I don't have it in front of me.
Do you have the list of things
Yeah,
that we
so
discussed?
what you were asking for was a detail on the installation of the siding so that you could understand how the pieces would fit together. And then you wanted specifications as to the materials and colors of all the finishes, the siding, the stucco, the railing, the garage door, the front door, the light fixture,
Yeah, cut sheets
the
and
windows.
light, the door, I mean, there's just
I mean, is
a lot
that, and I'm, excuse me, I'm not trying to be smart or anything, but is that typical? People bring in light fixtures and
Oh,
just-
absolutely, it's on the list, that's why I wanted to show you. If
Okay.
you could just bring up his application.
Sure.
The
Listen, I believe you, if that's what you say, the
Yeah,
the
listen.
standard,
Seymour
the
Hickory,
standard
okay.
of care is,
It's
just.
number 8 was in specific, on the checklist. Number 8 on the checklist is construction details and our catalog of cut sheets of all proposed site structures, including but not necessarily limited to fences, trash enclosures, all retaining walls, lighting fixtures and signs. That's one of the items, which is listed here and is not checked off, which at least you didn't just check off everything like it was
No,
there.
right.
But it's kind of something that needs to be part of the application. This is your,
I understand.
and I'm sure the garage doors and whatever are there too somewhere. That kind of stuff, especially for the ARB, is important, because that's the stuff we, are concerned with, how it looks, aesthetics. So I don't know,
I just have a couple of sort of questions. It's got to go back to the planning board, right?
That's correct.
So, in my opinion, there could be things that could have being part of this presentation that would have made it a little bit easier for us to understand, and I think that's kind of some of the feedback and blowback you're hearing for members of the board. The last thing we want to do is kind of create a hardship for you or your applicant here where you lose valuable time, you know, in terms of delaying you and missing the opportunity to get your permit and so on and so forth. That being said, I think I would be, you know, similar to what Silvio said, I think this is not a new build out of the ground. It's a renovation. It's, you know, it's a modern home that you know, has some elements and aspects to it that may be a little bit different from what we're used to seeing. That doesn't necessarily, you know, really have any impact on what we're voting on or proposing or recommending as a board. That's your client's prerogative and you as the architect. What I think would be somewhat fair is that you know, take the time to supplement this particular presentation and application with all of the items that, you know, we can lay out for you that we've talked about, all of the finishes, the windows, the doors, the colors, the light fixtures, you know, the clear identification of some of the things that we asked and questioned this evening. And granted, I understand that, you know, you're kind of running and trying to, you know, capture everything as part of this application, and maybe some things made the cut and others didn't. However, we're not necessarily looking to create this as a hardship. So I would be open to, you know, making that sort of voting on that path forward. However, you need to be able to, you know, give us a high level of confidence that all of the things that maybe didn't make this package are certainly included in that, so that the planning board, you know, can review and respond to all of the items that maybe were not clear and present as part of this application. And then at least you have the ability to move forward to the planning board and you know, possibly maintain your schedule.
I appreciate that.
That's my opinion.
So can I just add one thing? So the planning board meeting is the 27th of June, so we would need everything, you know, the submission deadline is the 11th, but no later than the end of next week. Is that something, if there are substantial revisions that are needed, that you can do?
I'm sorry, by next?
By the end of next week?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, we struggle with getting samples from manufacturers just because they take their time and the mail and everything else, so.
Well,
Can
that's
you
the
get the
question.
rendering
Yeah.
done in a
Say
week?
again?
Could you get a rendering done in a week?
I don't know, that's a lot to do. right now.
John, I'm sorry, excuse me. I know you're familiar with getting those things and having them done and sent out. Is that even possible? Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
all right. It would be much better for the planning board to see it that way. And also, I was just trying to look to see if I could find on one of the other applications, very often they'll do their materials board and in picture form, all on a sheet within the plans, and it's
Okay.
very helpful.
Okay.
And with all the cut sheets kind of cut and pasted right into there, and that's very helpful too,
Okay,
without, you know, coming in with some heavy pieces of stone and whatever, but it still gives a very good picture of what you're doing.
Got it.
Not just a dark door from Clopay, you know, like just, it's got to be a little bit more
I understand.
informative. So, with that being said, are we all okay with that? Kind of?
Yes,
And we'll-
I'm fine with it.
all right. So, I would like to pass along application,
First, you have to
We'll
close
take-
the public hearing.
oh, okay, yes, I'm sorry. I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing for application 24-17.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Then I'd like to make a motion to refer application 2417 along to the planning board with a recommendation to approve, subject to,
Okay, so condition number 1 is to provide the manufacturer specifications for the siding and how the seams will come together in pieces longer than 12 feet. That the elevations should be updated to specify the color and material of all the pertinent finishes of the building, siding, fixtures, the railing, window frames, garage door, front door, the stone base, and all other finishes. And that you should provide a color rendering no later than at the planning board meeting. And if those things aren't completed before the planning board can refer the application back if you'd like to see it,
if it's not
complete.
completed. But,
And the rendering could be brought
And the
to
rendering you
meeting?
could bring to the meeting, I mean, if you could submit it in advance, even if it's not by the submission deadline, that would be better. But it certainly would have to be brought to the meeting. So if you don't think June 27th is doable, then we might want to reconsider. But if you could bring it to the meeting or even shortly before, that would work.
Okay.
okay, we don't want to hold you back, but we do want to hold you up to the standard of, what everybody else presents.
I understand.
What we request on the list.
Understand.
All right?
All right, thank you.
Okay. So,
So you want to
Those
complete that
basic-
with those conditions.
those conditions, like, second,
Yeah, second?
all in favor?
Aye.
All righty, very good. Next up, we have application 24-09, located at 15 Hunter Drive. John, you've spoiled us.
That, this rendering.
No, this is the next one.
Okay, good evening. My name is John Yanacito. I'm an architect, and I'm representing Mr. and Mrs. Gogliamella, the owners of the subject property. So we are proposing an addition and alterations to the existing single-family residence located at 15 Hunter Drive. The proposed scope of work will include a second-story addition over the existing first-floor footprint, which is highlighted in yellow here. And we're also proposing a new front entry portico and covered porch, which is highlighted in red. This application was presented to the zoning board, and an area variance was granted for the total impervious coverage on May 14th, 2024. Let's quickly go through the plans. So on the first floor, we're basically just doing some interior alterations to the existing kitchen and the entrance foyer. And then we're proposing the new covered portico and front porch. And then on the second floor, the expansion will include a new bedroom suite, which will include a bedroom, a sitting room, a little office, gym area, a couple of closets, and a bathroom. And there'll be a small balcony off to the back. Here's the proposed front elevation showing the second-story addition, where we basically took the two gables that were on the left side of the house and reproduced it on the right side on the second floor, and then a new arched portico with the covered porch at the first floor level. And then at the rear, the second-story addition with a bump out and a balcony off the bedroom suite. Here is the rendering of the front facade. showing the materials. The wall surfaces will be a hardy shingle to match existing, same color as the existing, which is a khaki brown color. And will also, the wall surfaces will also be stone underneath the porch and the portico to match the existing stone. The roof surfaces will be asphalt shingle over the main portion of the roof, which will match existing. And on the porch, it will be a standing seam metal roof in a bronze finish. The windows will be vinyl clad in a white finish to match existing. The trim boards and columns will be painted AZEK in a white finish to match existing. The gutters and leaders will be aluminum in a white finish to match existing. And the railing at the balcony at the rear will be a black wrought iron to match the existing railing on the little steps going up to the kitchen entry. I have samples of the AZEK and the roof and the siding, if you would like to see them. And that's about it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Lighting, you gonna have inset lights in that portico?
So the portico is going to have one hanging fixture, which I could add on the drawing, on the elevations, and the porch will have recessed downlights. And then in the rear will have two fixtures up at the French door here, which will match the lights that are at the lower door, and I can add those to the elevations for the planning
Okay,
board meeting.
it's okay. We just want to make sure you don't have cut sheets or anything, but.
I don't have cut sheets.
Okay,
But they're
all
on
right.
the photo. If you look at the photos I submitted on the rear, you can see the type of fixtures that are on
Oh, okay,
on either side. So they'll be similar to the same ones.
okay.
I mean, they're nothing fancy.
No, they're regular back.
Unless they decide to change all the lights, then we can do something a little different. But
Okay.
at this point, I think we're just going to match existing.
And the hanging fixture is a good idea in the portico, because it's an empty
Yeah, it's got
space.
enough height to have a hanging fixture.
Okay.
Can you put the, back up? Thank you.
I have a question. The rake boards, the fascia boards, is that a 1x8?
Are they what?
1x8, because it reads
Yeah, they're very on the existing house. They're very wide. So we just
Oh, they are?
They're going. Yeah, if you look at the.
They look like over, like.
And then they also
Power.
have, they have the rake board, and then they have another board set back for the overhang on the rake board, so it makes it seem even thicker. So we're matching that detail. So it does look a little heavy, but they don't want to change it on the existing portion of the
okay.
house, so then we can't make it different. So I think it's better to match it.
I think the heavier look is nice.
It is a substantially sized house, so it
Yeah.
sometimes the bigger things don't look so big on the.
Right, on a larger house.
Yeah. And then the bay window's coming out, and you're replacing it
Yes,
with
the
more
bay
of a
window will be
classic look.
removed,
Yeah.
and we'll put a triple unit in the living room on the first floor. And
It's-
then rework the stone, because right now they have the stone on either side of the bay window, that bow window.
Was this home redone, like, recently, or like after it was built, let's say? Was there an in-between?
So I think
Kind of a thing?
the original houses, they may have done these gables at some point. I'm not sure if those were part of the original house. This
Yeah.
piece that pops out here.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
might have
yeah.
been added at some point, but I'm not 100% sure. The siding was done not too long ago,
Okay,
and the trim boards.
because it seems like it's evolved into.
Yeah. It
It's
just
almost
keeps
not even
keeps
like.
growing.
It's
I think
growing,
we're-
and it's also not so odd that it's a split level.
Yeah, it kind of hides it a little bit, that it's not really a split, yes.
Yeah.
Which I think is better.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the splits, but.
Yeah. Okay. So, anybody have any questions or comments, or can I open up the public meeting? Is that okay?
Yeah.
All righty, I'd like to open up a public meeting, make a motion to open the public meeting on application 2409, 1500 Drive.
Second?
In favor?
Aye.
Righty. And anybody here? Left? Nope, no comments? So, we can
Yeah,
close it, guys?
close it. Yeah.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on application 2409 1500 Drive.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, and I'd like to make a motion to refer application 2409 1500 Drive to the planning board with a recommendation to approve it with the addition of the lighting fixtures indicated on the cut sheets and on the drawings.
Okay, great, thank you.
There was nothing else, right?
That was it.
Okay. Second that?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Good luck. Thank you.
The next presentation is for 8 Wildwood Road. Is that also you, John?
Yes, it's me
Okay.
also. It's a very similar project.
Is this, which one?
This is this
The new
new
one?
house. You can give that to, and then you can keep this one.
Okay, good evening again. My name is John Yanacito. I'm an architect, and I'm representing Mr. and Mrs. Barone, the owners of the subject property. We are proposing an addition and alterations to the existing single-family residence located at 8 Wildwood Road. So the proposed scope of work will be to construct a second-story addition over the existing footprint, which is highlighted here in yellow. We're also proposing to reframe the roof on the left side of the house with a steeper gable. And then we're adding a covered porch next to the existing front portico, which is highlighted in red. Just quickly go through the plans. So on the first floor, similar to the previous, we're going to do interior alterations to the existing kitchen, and then add the new front porch right next to the existing front portico, which was done maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. And the second floor will be a master suite with a bedroom, sitting room, closet, office, and a bathroom. Here's the proposed front elevation, showing the second-story addition, and then a new gable over this portion of the house, so that the new roof over the addition ties into the ridge of this gable, and then a new front porch tying into the existing portico with the metal roof. And at the rear, this is the new gable over this portion of the house. The ridge tying into that gable for the second-story addition, and then we did a second gable at this end with a little balcony off of the bedroom suite. And then the rendering. So on the wall surfaces, the wall surfaces are going to be a hardy shingle, similar to the previous, with a gray finish to match existing. And then in the new gable over this portion of the house, we're going to introduce a hardy board and batten, painted to match the existing siding. Over the front porch, we're going to do a metal roof, standing seam, and a black finish. The main portion of the house will have an asphalt shingle and a charcoal finish. The new windows will be vinyl clad in a white finish to match existing. The trim boards and columns will be painted AZEK in a white finish to match existing. The gutters and leaders will be aluminum in a white finish to match existing. And the railings, the railing at the rear balcony will be composite to match the existing railing on the deck.
And what color, is that white also?
White, yes.
The windows are new or they're existing?
Is that?
The windows, they're existing or they're all new?
No, just, they're all existing, except for this one up here and the second, and we're changing the window in the,
So they're all existing, except that top one.
yeah. And then we're changing a couple of doors at the rear, the sliding doors from the kitchen out to the backyard. But these four windows are all existing, and the front door will be existing.
What do you think of those windows at the garage?
These little guys?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them, but I mean.
no. Is there anything that can be done? Because
Yeah,
I
I
think
see.
the house has kind of nice symmetry, and I think what you're proposing certainly enhances it and certainly makes it better, but they just look out of place.
Yeah, they're just really squat.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing is, I believe there's a foundation wall right here for the garage.
Well, I guess, that's the only, you're looking to allow light into the garage, so they're existing, I get it. They're existing windows, but I think they take away from the whole, symmetry
Yeah,
and.
I was
and-
thinking of maybe putting a big tree right here.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, move your tree that's on your rendering
Listen,
to the center.
I
I think that's the,
I think that's
the
probably your
fix.
best bet, because that, distracts you from, looking at them,
Yeah.
and they
Or
they
even a
just look out
band-
of place, but
A
they're.
band of stone here would be, might be
Yeah,
nice, but,
I was kind of thinking of that also, but
but I don't know if they want to go for that expense. I mean, they're spending a lot on it already, but.
I get it.
That
Listen,
gate-
I think if you put up some bushes and you can at least break up the,
Yeah.
the
Planting right in
width
front of
them.
that, yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely do new planting here and something taller.
Yes.
That gable that you're adding on the left-hand side, that's a new gable, right? You said you're raising it?
This is all new, yes.
Is there a space in there?
Attic
That's an attic.
with a pull-down stair from the hall in this area.
The Christmas tree.
Does it need, what bothers me a little bit is that you have
Seasonal decoration.
3.5 courses of siding over those windows, which makes the windows look squat.
This area here?
Yeah, like,
Yeah, the reason I did that is I lifted this up a bit just to not have these touch. Because if you look at the original house, this
Comes in
line
line
carries
with that,
through,
yeah.
and it looks a little funny where it's not broken up. So I raised it up just slightly
Right.
to break up that roof.
It's a whole new porch, or is that the existing
So
porch?
the porch is all new, but the portico's existing. So this front
The
entrance.
portico is existing.
Yes, but this.
Because it looks, right, it looks out of scale
'Cause
and
that
almost
line
too
went-
big for the existing elevation.
Yeah,
Yeah, but once you add all the other stuff.
Yeah,
it
I
is-
agree.
Starts to work.
It works, yeah.
Again, another split disguise.
yes, trying to hide all the splits in Lake Isle. I'm sorry to anybody who's a big fan of splits.
I don't think there is.
It's not 1970.
I think it looks great for all the stuff that you're keeping. And I think the plants will just break up that bit in the front.
Yeah. Okay. Open a public hearing? Did we open this one? I'm like,
No, not yet, you
no.
need to open it, yeah.
okay.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we open the public hearing on application 24-20. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now open. Anybody here that'd like to speak on that? That being the case, then I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on application 24-20.
Second?
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Okay, public hearing's now closed. So, again, I think this is pretty straightforward. right?
Just with the one recommendation to add landscaping between the two garage windows to buffer the view.
Right, right. I think the objective is to try and, take your eye away from those
So
two
maybe
sort of.
I'll call the guy who did the rendering and see if he can adjust the landscaping on it.
Yeah, listen, I don't.
That's not the biggest
I don't
deal.
think that's,
He might be able to do it in time.
yeah.
so.
Maybe you can talk to him about, the other
Yeah, I'll
applicant,
recommend
maybe.
Joe
You
that
can.
he can use them also.
So, that being the case, I'd like to make a motion that we approve application 24-20, located at 8 Wildwood Road, with the minor sort of caveat that you try and enhance the landscaping to try and mitigate those little eyebrow windows. Have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the summer.
Yes, you too.
Thank you.
And next up, we have application 2411 for 57 Locust Avenue.
Alrighty. Good evening, Board. My name is Adamo Majorano from Community Designs and Engineering. On behalf of the owner, Janice Crick, we are proposing additions and alterations to 57 Locust Avenue. This project did actually receive a zoning variance for very minimal setbacks, but the side yards of the existing house are like 6 inches on one side and like 3 inches on the other. So what we're basically doing, it's a small cape, and we're taking basically the roof off of it and creating more bedrooms on the second floor. So basically going over the full footprint of the first story with a second floor bedrooms and bathrooms and so on. So I'll go to the elevations. So, along with the second floor addition, all of the finishes on the outside will be new. Along with the windows, there'll be Anderson windows, black. It's a white on black house. So existing right now, it's a white stucco. We're going to be covering that with a white vinyl siding, but then all of the trim around the windows and all of the fascia board will be white AZAC. And then there's sort of a little decorative detail on the gable here that's a shake siding, vinyl shake siding. What we are doing is taking off that small sort of hip roof on this one story here, building like a sort of front covered area where they walk into the door. The door's on the side, that's going to remain as existing, but we're kind of making a master bedroom balcony that also serves as a covered, sort of area when you enter the front door. Along with that sort of front addition, it's a basic, side-to-side gable, so the side elevations are very much similar to what it is now, other than the second floor windows. We're going to paint the existing brick chimney. We have to raise it up a bit because of the code with the separation from the roof and the height. So what they'll end up doing is raising it with the same brick, but then painting it all white to match. And other than that, yeah, there are, in the legend, basically very similar to what you see, that light fixture on the side of the French doors in the master bedroom. There'll be sconce lighting there. And white PVC railing on the balcony, a AZAC wrapped column, and a very, there's a little stone there, but just a small little stone pier. Because of the height of that balcony, we just made a little stone bottom half, and then the rest is a column wrap to that. And then black charcoal asphalt shingle roof, which you don't really see much from the front of the house. Yeah, pretty much sums it up. Condensers there's existing one on the left side because I think there's only one. So obviously with the addition, they'll add another one, and then we'll screen it. It's nice that also it's the further setback on the left side, so it has more room on that side from the neighboring residents. But the neighbor, it's sort of their backyard because that's a corner lot. So as you can see from the streetscape, it's the side of the house. The front faces Webster.
I see a rendering again? The
Uh,
rendering? Yeah. So I'm just trying to understand where you've brought the balcony across in the front.
Well, maybe if I could on plan, well, so you see how the existing picture of the house?
Yeah.
There's a bump, so directly
Yeah.
flat on top of that, doesn't come out any further. There's gonna be a flat roof to a single column, and that's basically what's gonna be covered.
Okay.
So yeah, so that, the roof of, it's a very small hip roof, so the roof of that one-story base, the door is, well, here we go, oh, here we go. So, yeah,
Yeah.
on this elevation here, that's the front door, and basically it's a flat
Right,
balcony roof.
yeah.
All the windows are new, right?
And then all the windows will be new. The ground floor windows stay all the same, position and everything. They're not really doing much of anything to the first floor other than the windows and the outside finishes.
And the windows are black?
Black finished windows, yeah.
Can we see the siding and like some of the samples
yeah.
that you have, please?
This is. Oh.
This is the siding.
Budget-wise, they would like to do hardy plank, not only because of the stucco, the vinyl works a little better because of making that a flat finish. We're gonna have to do nailers on the first floor walls because it's stucco, and then they'll put styrofoam, sort of on the woods of the second floor to build it out to meet that so that everything will be flush. So the vinyl makes a little better application to make everything flush. If they were to go to hardy plank, which they kind of want to do, it's a little, one is the expense that they're, so that's sort of why we're proposing the vinyl. If they can go to hardy for expense-wise, they will, but it makes a little harder application because of the existing structure of the home.
But this is the kind of
That,
vinyl.
yeah, that is it, yeah, royal wood.
Interesting. It's like-
It's your typical
Nice.
lap, not the Dutch sort of thing, your regular lap
And this is,
siding. That's just the roof, yeah.
The thought behind and the driving sort of force behind the little
Window in the closet, 'cause this looks-
balcony on the front is the interior room or the client's request to have sort of walkout space for their bedroom?
Essentially, well, yeah, so it serves two purposes. One, to give a little aesthetic appeal to the front elevation. Right now, it sort of lacks, your basic, but it gives you your covered entry like a portico, but instead of doing so much, expense-wise, so much change to the front that they're trying not to, it gives you balcony up above, which they may use, may really not use much of,
Yeah.
but essentially both balcony and covered entry area.
Like, I think you've,
covered stairs.
Covered stairs,
Yeah,
yeah.
with snow.
yeah, I think you've certainly done a lot. It's from what it looks like now to what it is. In just looking at your elevation, the streetscape, it almost, with this balcony and this sort of double door, it almost looks like the back of the house as opposed to the front of the house, in my opinion. There's no really sort of distinct front door to kind of give it the,
Sure.
the front of the house appearance. And I think, you look at it quickly and it's my opinion, it almost looks like the back of the house as opposed to the front of the house. And I think that's kind of driven by the fact that it has this balcony with these double doors. Listen, that's preference. I asked, is it a requirement from your client? And if it is, then, you work with that and you try and work it into the design as best you can. But again, that's just my, humble opinion.
Yeah, if, budget-wise, if we were able to do more with the front and change up the front entrance and all that, we probably would have, but it definitely, it was more of a preference of the owner to have, because the master bedroom is in the front, to have that balcony and that.
But you could possibly mitigate that with having some sort of a shallow standing seam, you know, like roof over that. You know, you wouldn't be able to have your double
Then you
door
wouldn't have-
there.
yeah,
You'd be able to put a window in the closet, you might have a little more, you know,
But I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't mind. It's, well, because the garage door and everything, it can
Like-
look like the back, but it does still give me a front elevation appearance.
Does the balcony have, it's funny what Enda was just saying. I actually drew it before I even said it.
do what?
I added
drew
a
what you
window
said.
to a closet, and I put a standing
before
seam
you
roof
said it.
over here, then
Yeah.
ended the balcony at that line.
Yeah, but it breaks it, like then it starts to get too much stuff busy going on. And then when you're sitting, and then that detail of that roof, where the balcony is, then you have a roof next to you.
Yeah, you have that triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really.
Yeah. Listen, again, I think you do very good work. I think, you know,
thank you.
your whole presentation, it's thoughtful, it's very, you know, there's a clear path from beginning to end. And again, we're just looking to try and make every project, not one or another, but make every project as, you know, sort of,
Best it can be.
Yeah.
you know, fits into the neighborhood and ultimately having every project as best as it can be. It's as simple as that.
What does maybe, not to keep going, it does help this a little bit, when we look at the streetscape, the house to the left is the side of it. So like, we could almost argue, okay, that's the side of the house, now we're getting almost to a front of the house, you know, as you go on and on. So when you're looking at it, you're not looking at two front elevations, so that sort of does help this house not having a front house appearance, so that it doesn't, you know, I'm just
There's a
That's
lot
a
of-
corner.
trying to
There's a lot of
think
bushes
different
there.
things that- Yeah, yeah.
It's a little bit like,
Actually, oh, so yeah, another thing, this was taken in the winter. If you do any time in the, you know, springtime, you could almost like not even see this house from the front, because these two trees that are here, it's like
Are in
blocks
full
the whole
bloom.
house. They're not looking to remove those, but yeah, it's like more than half of the year, you can't even see the front of this house.
Is that a new garage door that you have in the sketch?
It's not,
Fine.
but it is a white, you know, garage door. I have to see if they're looking to change the garage door. That's one thing.
It looks nicer than what's there, I think,
I-
but
I've-
honestly, when there's so many cars, you can't even see the door.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. I forget. I think it's almost like the house next door. I don't know if it has a window. I believe, I thought it does, because that's why I put that there, but.
And then, as far as entering from the driveway, they do usually enter on the front door, from the front
Oh,
door?
yeah, they walk.
They
from
don't
the
go
driveway.
through the garage?
A little walk, this, you know, little walk, and they go in through the front door.
Okay.
Yeah, they barely ever park, I think, cars in the garage, because that's the
Storage.
garage,
It's one of those.
yeah. Yeah, yep. Not sure.
Is there on-street parking on that street, or it doesn't look very
Not-
big?
No,
Okay.
not there. Well, the field is right there, so there's some trouble with parking there, but no, that street, Webster has parking, and it's always, you know, when the games are going on, it's crazy, but that street, no, there's no parking.
Okay.
Yeah, this is in the winter too, but yeah, those two trees in the front really close it. And also maybe, you know, looking at, instead of head-on, when you look at the house from a little bit of the angle, it throws that front porch and, you know, sort of side entry a little better, instead of always looking at it in 2D. Sorry.
And everything is is the first floor remaining, but everything is,
Yeah, the outside, everything remains, but the outside finishes are new. So new siding on the first floor and windows.
but everything inside, it's a whole new,
No,
Renovation.
the inside first floor stays.
Stays.
Just the whole second floor basically gets, you know,
Uh-huh.
wiped out.
wow. 5 bedrooms and a whole smaller
They
footprint
just
like
had
that.
a
It's-
actually, that's why we had to go back to the zoning board, because they just had a newborn, so they think they have 3 kids, so, yeah, that's the whole reason for adding the bedrooms.
Yeah, it's,
Nice to have some bedrooms, though, on the first floor.
Yeah, so they're called, but I think they're like offices and playrooms.
Right, right.
Yeah,
But there are times when,
sure, yeah.
although, I guess this is a house upstairs. So,
Yeah.
right, so, back on our sheet here. I'd like to make a motion to open application 241157 Locust Avenue.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And obviously, there's nobody here, so we can close the public hearing. I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on application 241157 Locust Avenue.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And so do we have any suggestions or comments
No.
as we move it along to the planning board? No? Okay. So then I'd like to make a motion to refer application 241157 Locust Avenue to the planning board with a recommendation to approve as is, as submitted.
Thank you.
Righty. And then the next
You just
one-
need to vote on, take a
Oh,
vote on
oh,
that
yes,
one.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Second?
yeah,
All in favor?
aye.
Righty. And, okay, we move on to 23-33, 2 Cross Hill Road.
Ready.
Focus.
Excuse me.
Here.
Great. Good evening again. Adamo Majorano from Community Designs and Engineering. We are proposing a new single-family dwelling at 2 Cross Hill Road for the applicant and owner, Lucian Martin. This is an existing site that did receive a zoning variance for multiple variances, the gross floor area, impervious, and coverage, because essentially it's a double-sized lot on the corner of Cross Hill and Oakland. The existing house obviously will be removed. All of the driveway, patio area, everything that relates to it will be removed, and we're proposing a new single-family dwelling. The house is very specific to the owner's intentions of the, size and space and aesthetics of the home. We are taking advantage of, basically, with respect to the corner, we have a wraparound porch on the right-hand side. The property does slope gently from left to right, so we're going to propose basically a 2-foot-high interlocking wall here, and the garage will be the same sort of location as it is, although it's a 2-car garage now, on the left-hand side, and driveway that basically goes straight into it. Let's just go to the elevations. So basically, an elevation similar to the last one, that it has that, again, white and black sort of idea home. It is white hardy plank, 7-inch exposure siding. All of the trim and detail is white, white hardy plank siding, 7-inch exposure, and then the white AZAC finish for all of the window soffits. There's a metal standing seam roof that's in a dark gray color. The asphalt shingle roof is your typical architectural shingle, charcoal in color. The Anderson 400 series windows, they just have a middle divider, so it basically looks like one big sort of window. The garage clopay black garage doors are basically exactly how they are in the rendering and elevation. The front doors, basically a big sort of black finish, but glass double door with same sort of double hung windows above it. There is in the, I guess, great room, there's a similar door as the wraparound porch goes around the side that you could enter that sort of living room area in the back. Again, that front porch on the corner wraps around to the right-hand side. You have sort of gables to give that sort of additional sort of appeal because it's a corner lot. And then all of the stone will go up the chimney. Although it's a gas fireplace, they still want to aesthetically have a nice chimney on that side. And along with the stone, there is a stone water table on the front by the garage door and the dining room area. And then in the porch, all of the porch area, that whole portion will be real thin stone veneer. Actually, this is the actual exact stone that they're going to use. And as far as elevation, I'll go to the back.
You don't like it?
The back of the house, there is a, sort of to bring down the scale and the massing of the house, there's just a flat roof covered patio with AZAC columns that are very far spread apart so that there's not much blocking the rear yard, because it's a little bit shallow in the rear yard. So it's just a flat roof, rubber roof that is covering much of the patio in the back. And the right side is just the 1.5-story garage with storage above. Again, streetscape on this one because, yeah, there's a street there, so there's much of trees. All of the existing evergreens and plants that are on the right-of-way are going to stay on that right-hand side. And on the left, there's a smaller home here that has quite a bit of distance from that home. So there's a driveway on the right-hand side and existing evergreens that we're trying to maintain there. Because it's a new house, obviously we have a new landscape plan that was done by Bob Tramontano that shows what we're trying to maintain and what we're proposed as planting for the new house. And along with that, because it's a new house, full stormwater mitigation for all of the new impervious surfaces that we conducted site tests for with the town engineer. For that, then these are just renderings of what that front shot, and because it's an important corner, the corner of that house, we try to do some detailing with the gables and the front porch, sort of bring the scale and massing of the house down as much as we can. Condensers are on the left side of the property, and then they will be screened as well, which are here. That's a good point.
The covered patio in the back and the covered porch in the front, in the rendering, in the, what do you call it, rendering? Site plan. It looks like a stone kind of thing. Is that just suggestive, or is it actually going to be?
It's a blue stone. So the back is a blue stone at grade, and then the front, it's about like 1.5 foot high, is going to be a blue stone
As well?
finish as well, yep. That's why there's, you see the planting there, but no, hard to see that. It's very short off the ground.
And the stone that you showed us before was for the chimney, the water table, and the inside the porch?
Front porch, yep.
Okay. Any questions or comments, guys?
No.
Sylvia, you're so quiet now.
I like it. Less is more.
That's a good thing. Okay. So, I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing for application 23-33, 2 Cross Hill Road.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty, and since there's no one else here, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on application 23-33, 2 Cross Hill Road.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty. And then, there were no comments, right? Nope. Okay. So I'd like to make a motion to refer application 23-33 to Cross Hill Road to the planning board with a recommendation to approve as submitted. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, thank you.
And then I'd also like to make a motion to adjourn the June 6, 2024 ARB meeting. The next meeting is scheduled for September 5th, 2024.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Thank you, and good night, Eastchester.
thank you.